LiberalViewer present.
So when the town council in Fort Myers, Florida recently fired its city manager after finding out he'd married a woman who appears in erotic films, although the coverage on Fox News' The O'Reilly Factor was extensive enough to include one of their own infamous erotic montages and included commentary from two lawyers, neither lawyer mentioned the constitutional right to marry, even when it seemed an obvious part of the response, as it should have been, for example, here.
You could make an argument that they're punishing this guy for being married.
You could make an argument, absolutely. I think they are making the argument.
That's not right.
I would love this. I'd love to get this to a jury. Are you kidding?
No,
so
I don't
you
love
think
this
that the guy could win the lawsuit?
Absolutely. Wrongful discharge, freedom of association. He married somebody who is in a business maybe that we don't, applaud, but it's certainly legal, and they were causing no problems.
Now, did you hear in there how attorney Wiehl only mentioned the freedom of association, a right under the First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, rather than talking about the constitutional right to marry, even though when, in one famous 1967 case, the U.S. Supreme Court struck down a Virginia law against interracial marriage, the court wrote, quote, "The freedom to marry has long been recognized as one of the vital personal rights essential to the orderly pursuit of happiness by free men," unquote. But the other legal analysis from lawyer Megyn Kelly did no better, never mentioning the constitutional right to marry, even when doing a constitutional analysis and prompted to mention marriage, as you can see here.
I agree with the analysis so far, okay? But the problem is once you actually get into the court, you have to prove that the association, that the thing being protected under the First Amendment bears protection, that it rises to a level that warrants protection.
Marriage.
Let me finish. And this relationship, the pornography that she's involved in, is not going to cut it. It's not like she came out and was making political speech. It's not like she came out and criticized the city
I still
council.
don't think it's right.
The triple X porn is not going to get protected.
Of course, Megyn Kelly's not even accurate in claiming erotic expression gets less First Amendment protection, but notice again how both lawyers try to classify the right infringed here under the First Amendment freedom of association, rather than informing their viewers of the obvious right infringed, the constitutional right to marry. And that right-wing ideological analysis correlates to one I showed in a video last year of Megyn Kelly's complaint about California's gay marriage ruling being based on a right to marry, to which she said,
"In this case, they created yet another fundamental right that had never existed before. They are making this stuff up out of whole cloth."
Now, rather than agreeing with Megyn Kelly, I agree with the U.S. Supreme Court, writing in 1967 that the freedom to marry has long been recognized as a vital personal right essential to the orderly pursuit of happiness. But I want to know what you think. Do you believe the freedom to marry should be constitutionally protected as a vital personal right essential to the orderly pursuit of happiness? And applying that opinion to the Florida case, do you believe the freedom to marry should protect a government employee from being fired for choosing to marry a porn star?
YouTube, you decide.